Hey,
Hello.
how are
Hey.
you?
Hey.
There we are.
Yes, we are. We made
How
it.
are you?
No problems, no technology
Yeah, no,
problems
I
this
had
time.
I put my headphones on and there was like music playing in the background. I was like, well, I could groove to this, like music playing while I'm doing an IG live.
Actually, yes, of course, we can always have music in the background. Just,
Exactly.
yeah,
I love
could
it.
be more.
Although it might be like too loud and overpowering the conversation. So,
Sometimes we need that, you know that.
yeah, exactly.
We,
How
we
you
need.
doing? Good?
I'm doing well. I just came back from holidays,
Where were
so
you? I saw the pictures. They were awesome.
yeah,
Wherever you were, I wanted to be there. It was like it looked so nice.
yeah, it is
Like the
nice. It's
beaches.
beautiful. It's an island in Greece, a
Okay.
tiny island, primitive, no tourists, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really posted images from where I was, but
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Nice.
So yeah, I
Awesome.
needed that. I needed ground.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I need somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere different. Been cooped up
But
a little, so.
are you allowed to go to move around? I mean, because of the
Yeah, we
lockdown.
can. I mean, we still have like precautions, wearing masks and
Hmm.
social distancing and but like the beaches are open now and things like that. So, thinking tomorrow I may see my parents and then we may take a ride somewhere
That's
together.
good.
So, yeah, yeah, so we'll see.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So Roy has joined.
And Eleanor, I guess.
And Eleanor, hey guys. Hope you're both
Hi.
doing well.
Hello. Hello, Roy. Let me adjust my camera here. All right. So today we'll be talking about fears, doubts, criticisms, anything we feel
Hmm.
about our work.
Yeah,
And
with the online community or the online world,
hello,
right?
Karen. Hi.
Hey,
Thank you
Karen.
for joining us. Thank you.
Good morning,
Um,
afternoon, evening, whatever.
yeah, we don't know where all these
Oh,
people are.
Karen's in Florida,
Different
so
time
she's
zones.
in morning.
All right. Okay, that's good. So how is it for you? Do you find it hard to do this work, or?
Well, I mean, it's I'm still in the early stages of it, so
Mhm.
there's definitely a number of fears and doubts to get past. The biggest thing I think for the moving or transitioning into kind of an online business is the vulnerability
Mhm.
to
Okay.
attack because you're very open to all of a sudden more people, right? Because you're reaching more people
Mhm.
because now it's online. It's not just, in your small little community where you're doing one-on-one. So, I think that's a huge thing in a way. It's a huge stepping stone and it's a way to kind of test yourself
Mhm.
and how resilient we can actually be
Mhm.
emotionally because, it's trying to be authentic and put yourself out there is not easy. And
Mhm.
then there's also the fears of like getting over if you're camera shy or getting over technical difficulties. And so there's a number of things, but the biggest thing I see for myself is the vulnerability because
All
there's a
right.
lot of online trolls, there's a lot of
Mhm.
negative people online and things like that.
I
So
have to ask this question though.
yeah,
What is the worst case scenario in this case?
the worst case scenario is somebody says something and I don't know, you want to like jump back at them or something like that, but it's not like they're in your house, in your room with a knife
Mhm.
attacking you. It's just this online emotional attack through words. But words can have power, so they can affect us emotionally a lot. So if you're a sensitive person to begin with, then transitioning to an online community, you just have to keep that in the back of your mind and
Mhm.
understand that you know, grounding yourself and remaining neutral to comments and criticisms and things like that is really important and it's really key to building and thriving in the
Mhm.
online world because otherwise, a lot of people won't make it if they get one or two comments from somebody and it really hurts their feelings per se.
Mhm.
So if you're a sensitive soul, it's just something to be aware of.
I understand that. And
Yeah.
actually, I
What do
had
you
this
think?
fear. I had this fear in the beginning. I don't have it anymore. And I think that if someone says something, I'll take it in a bad way if I'm feeling sensitive about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Something that I'm feeling uncomfortable about. If they say something about my hair, I don't care. I love my hair. I have
Yeah.
a new haircut, by the way.
It's easy. Yeah.
The summary on. So I that's the most important thing. You feel open, you feel unprotected there. Karen asks, what is the best approach, leaving a bad comment up or deleting it?
Yeah,
It's up to you, Karen. It's up to
that's a
you.
great question.
I mean, well, I've seen many. I think that when someone is posting something bad about you or about anyone, all right, that reflects back to them. It has nothing to do with you, all right? But if you think that you agree with them, then you're going to feel bad about it. So I think that leaving the comment there, just, you know, I feel it's okay to leave a bad comment, you know, and sometimes people just want to attract attention to themselves. They just want to say something bad. They just want to offload, you know, say bad things because they had a really bad day. And I think that learning how to answer, or sometimes not answering those comments, is a great skill, you know, because no one really can touch you unless you let them, all right? So if, for example, you create a video and you receive many bad comments, maybe this is something you need to think about. Maybe there's something that you need to think about your video, you know. And it's more about food for thought than, you know, your reaction could be, I want to avoid that, or I want to avoid that, I don't want to say that, or I'm going to face that. It's up to you how you're going to, you know, approach this situation. I would say leave the comment there, all right? What to say? I just use to block them.
I like his advice.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. So let's use an example, all right? Let's use an example. Let's say we are posting something about channeling. You create a video about channeling, and someone tells you, "What is this bullshit? The channeling does not exist," you know, or this is everything is in your head, and just because everything is in your head, you are fucked up, you know. Maybe you have schizophrenia. Do you think you are going to be affected by that? Do you think you have schizophrenia just because you are channeling? What do you think? This is just an opinion of someone who knows nothing about you. You know, you don't even know if they're a real person or not.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that. So, Karen, I would look at the type of comment and ask yourself, is it constructive criticism? Because people can disagree with the content. That's fine. Is it constructive criticism related to the actual content of the video, or is it like a personal attack on you? And also, you know, you can leave the comment if it's just like content related and it's just somebody's another opinion. It really depends, you know, it's up to your own discretion. But if it's something very vulgar, very offensive, then I would delete it. Because you have online trolls who are just posting. I mean, I've gotten the links for like the like website links and things like that. So really look at what the comment is and take a step back, observe it for what it is. And, you know, is it vulgar? Is it offensive? Is it something that you can report because you can report comments? Or is it, you know, is it related to my video and do I want to respond to it? Is it something that I can respond to in a way where I'm not attacking back at the person? Because you don't want to do that. That's the worst thing to do, is just react. You know, respond in a way that that is more on the neutral side or something like that, rather than just reacting to something. You never want to just react. And I feel like a lot of us want to just react because you feel like the anger boiling up when somebody makes a comment that, you know, somebody doesn't agree with us or somebody attacks us personally or something like that. So it's up to your discretion as far as whether the comment is really should belong there and if it's constructive or whether it's just like nonsense. That's my opinion on it.
No, I agree.
Yeah, case by case.
And to be honest with you, I haven't received a comment yet, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I read comments from other people who have many followers, and I'm just paying attention to how they react, sometimes I see that by attacking back, it's not working. And I don't think it's to give a good example, you know, by attacking people. just because, again, I think that when someone says something bad, it's about them. It's not about you, you know.
It's a projection.
So exactly, and there is an easy way to project the comment back to them, you know, to write something like, thank you for your comment, thank you for being angry. I understand your anger, you know, I understand why you're feeling bad about it, something like that. And instead of say, oh, you whatever, troll,
you
or
suck.
yeah,
you always want to come at it from the neutral angle. I mean, that's important, because otherwise you're just adding fuel to the fire. You're not going to change somebody's opinion. There's really no there's no point.
It's not about us to. We are just expressing our opinions. Okay, we are not here to change how people are feeling or thinking. All right, and we're just doing it publicly, and this is who we are. We're not going to change the way we speak just because some people disagree with us. Or I was reading, do you know Laura Clary? She's a comedian. She's posting really funny videos.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, and she posted a few days ago something like Black Lives Matter. And people, you know, really, people attacked her. And some people were saying, oh no, go back to comedy. This is not for you, you know, to open a discussion about that. And I was like, why do you think you need to, you know, it's like, I'm here to entertain you and you're going to tell me what kind of content I'm going to create. Who do you think you are? You know, this is my creation. This is me. I'm not going to change. So I understand completely how vulnerable you can feel when you are in front of a camera and you're just expressing your opinions. But I strongly believe that any negative comments are not about you, it's about them. But if you're feeling sensitive about something specific, then you're going to feel uncomfortable about that. That comment.
And Roy brought up a good point. Reacting is also a lack of self-control. So just reacting. And absolutely. I agree with that.
Or you can take this opportunity and say, oh, why I got triggered? What does it mean for me? You know, and just work on that, you know, because the more videos we make, the more, you know, exposure we get, then more people will be making comments under our videos. So it's very, very normal. We need to feel comfortable about that. This is how I feel about it.
Yeah, and going back to the comedian story, you know, if somebody feels like you don't fit into their script or the little storyline that they have playing in their head, then they almost get offended, or they get defensive, or they get, you know, they get very disturbed by it for some reason. And I guess that's just part of being human. We're just, you know, we want things to go a certain way, and when we see something out of the ordinary, we feel the need to speak up. So,
absolutely.
But it's essentially it's just a projection of what somebody's feeling internally.
Exactly. I absolutely agree. We're talking about fears and doubts. One of my fears and doubts, not about making videos, but in general, was about writing and speaking, because obviously I'm not a native speaker and English is not my first language. So it was like, oh my God, well, I wasn't really, you know, I had doubts about people understand me, and I was thinking about, oh, I'm going to put like subtitles.
We can understand you fine.
Yeah, you don't know when you're not a native speaker, you know how it feels.
I can understand you better than a lot of Americans. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. It was sometimes, you know, expressing yourself and explaining something can be tricky when you're not speaking your native language, you know. And sometimes when I'm doing my videos, I always ask myself, have I said everything I wanted to say in the right way, or did I miss something just because I wasn't able to explain it properly? You know, that was a huge fear of mine about doing that. But I know that I don't want to do it in Greek. I'm Greek, by the way, because I don't think that Greek people are my audience. I just wanted to reach larger audience.
Yeah.
So definitely the language. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have that issue, but but yeah, I can understand how that could be a big thing. But you know, we understand you perfectly. So just to let you know, but it's funny, and you know, this kind of relates to how we think of ourselves in our head as opposed to how other people see us. It's like our inner world versus the outer the outer world, right? And
Absolutely.
oftentimes the two are very, very different. So
Yeah.
you're probably thinking in your head, oh my God, like nobody can understand me, and turning it into this huge thing when
Hmm.
honestly it's fine.
Okay.
Everybody
I,
can
f I
understand you,
feel
and
better now.
it's
Thank you
yeah,
so
but
much.
so it goes to show, especially, going back to being a sensitive soul or something like that, where we take everything, we think everything, we blow it out of proportion
Hmm.
in our own heads.
Especially if you have social phobia, or if
Yeah.
you feel shy, or you
Hmm.
fear that you're going to be judged and humiliated in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And I had that. I worked on that a lot. I cannot say that I have released this fear entirely, but I'm feeling more comfortable with myself now.
Yeah. Because I
Uh,
know you said you had the fear of just speaking on recording, like
yeah, do you
behind the
remember?
camera, right?
I couldn't.
And I
It was
said, I have the
impossible.
exact opposite. You're okay talking in front of people, but
Hmm.
behind the camera, you're scared. But me, I'm perfectly fine behind the camera, but doing like an IG live scares the crap out of me. So it's
Oh,
like because
right.
it's
Okay.
live, so it's that's another challenge, like the fear of public speaking or the fear of
Hmm.
being behind camera and things like that. I think that is a huge challenge, and we've seen that through our friends who are beginning ventures with posting YouTube videos and things like that, where they just have a fear of getting started, or they have a
Hmm.
fear of just what I'm saying. Is it going to make sense? Are people
Hmm.
going to resonate with it? And oftentimes the best videos that I find are the ones that are not scripted, or the ones where I don't think about too much, where you're just
Yes.
speaking authentically from yourself
Yes.
about whatever you want to talk about. Because otherwise you're just in your head way too much.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Thank you, Roy. We're warriors. He said. And
yes.
I think that the problem with YouTube videos, when it comes to me, is that just because I have a script and I have difficulties following the script, but if I don't follow the script, what it doesn't really make sense what I'm trying to say at the end. If you put everything together, it does make sense.
Yeah, it
But
depends
we're
on the content, of
Yes,
course.
exactly. And I always have like bullet points, but when I don't follow the script, I just started talking about phobia, and then I ended up talking about airplanes. So,
Starts
yeah.
becoming a therapy session, right?
Yes, 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 yes. So I prefer Instagram Lives because I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, yeah,
It's freer,
nice.
I don't have the
Yeah.
restriction of
Hmm.
following or have to be proper or whatever.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love that. I love that.
How about the
Yeah.
technical difficulties, challenges, fears? I know you and I both have had our share of them,
Yes.
including Instagram lives, camera
Well, I'm very good
sideways,
at. Yes, the camera was sideways. I was filming the plants instead of. I mean, the camera was not facing me, or it
Yep,
was facing some
I did that
boxes
too.
I had. Yeah.
Yep.
In the
Why can't I
balcony.
see anything? Oh,
Or at some point, the camera froze and I started swearing and it was like.
hmm.
I was like, okay, nope. But to
Uncut,
be honest,
unedited, raw.
yeah,
Yeah.
I managed to cut some bits because it was offensive. Well, it's very normal because I don't know what is your background, but my background is not in any technology or
Hmm.
marketing or wherever. So all these things are new to me. So I need to learn how to operate new platforms, which I have no idea how to do that, how to write scripts, how to,
Yeah.
however, I'm feeling a lot better about that now. And to be honest with you, especially with Instagram, it was very funny when I was doing uh, that live on my own. It was the fear of technology and I couldn't put the
Hmm.
camera properly. And I was like, yes, this is a good example. All right, I have the problem with technology. I'm afraid that something won't work, but it's absolutely fine to make mistakes. I just want to feel
Yeah.
okay about that. And that's why I just posted it with my plants there in a
Hmm.
box in the balcony. I was like, I don't care. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
do that in my YouTube video. That's the difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of experimentation. Also, it's finding a balance because the
Hmm.
technical stuff and the logistical stuff can kind of, um, I don't know, take over. And in a way, and I've found this with myself, where sometimes you lose your creative, like to make YouTube videos, for example, you have to have or set aside time for creative, you know,
Hmm.
content, um, and creating content is what I mean. And I feel like sometimes the technical stuff or the social media, if you're not a big social media fan,
Yes,
it takes a lot of your time. So you have to learn to really balance and really plan out your schedule, um, where you do still have time to actually create content, or you do still have time to allow the creativity to flow through you, because that can get lost a lot of times and you can burn yourself out because you
exactly.
realize you're doing something, but you're no longer doing it in this like creative flow. You're just doing it more from like this logical place.
Yes. Exactly, I absolutely agree. And I think that when I'm thinking that, okay, I'm gonna create a video, right? And then I'm thinking that I have to edit it and I have to add all these things there. I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's just like I just
Yeah.
want to speak about something and then move on. I don't want to do because it's a long process. Spend so much time to edit a video. It's not
Hmm.
an easy one. It's not an easy process, and I don't want to do that. It's not, I mean, my work is not supposed to be about technology. It's supposed to be about delivering a message to people.
Right.
So what am I doing here? But again, I think that this is a great skill, to use the different platforms, because this is an online business. And even if you are the person who will say, I don't want to do any, work on my social media, I'm going to hire someone. It's very important to know how these, platforms operate anyway.
Hmm.
So, because, in the
Absolutely. Yeah.
beginning, I was using different platforms to advertise my videos. And then at the end, I realized that it's not what I want. I mean, they were
Hmm.
advertising, promoting, sorry, my videos in countries or with audience that I didn't really choose. So when I started using Google Ads, then I had a better control and a better knowledge about what I'm doing. So I think that using technology, or the knowledge of the technology, is important, but it shouldn't be a
Shouldn't
block
take
to
over the
creativity.
whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
And
exactly.
also because you do one-on-one sessions with the EFT.
Hmm.
So finding the balance between that, because I know when you're working with somebody personally, it takes a lot of energy out of you, but so does social media and editing videos and all these other things. So how do you find that you balance, working one-on-one with people with all the other the outside things?
Exactly what you said. I don't post videos very often, first of all,
Hmm.
and I don't. I'm trying not to have more than one sessions per day,
Okay.
because when I've tried to have two sessions per day, it was too much for me. And you can easily, have a burnout of
Burnout. Yeah.
everything, and you can start hating what you love just
Hmm.
because you don't have a good balance. In the beginning, when you start having many clients, you're like, oh my god, now I have many clients, I have to, you know it's taking off. You cannot really stop, but actually you have to, otherwise it's just a job. And I
Yeah.
tried to
Yeah.
escape from that 9 to 5 job when I was doing things, and I wasn't really thinking, I wasn't enjoying it. So this is the good balance for me.
Yeah.
Like doing maybe 2 videos per week, which I don't do lately, and have one client per day, no more than that.
Yeah.
That helps. Otherwise, it's easy
Otherwise,
to lose.
you get pulled
Yes,
back into that
yes,
mentality
exactly.
that you used to have, and you get burnout. So
and
yeah.
and create different sources of income instead of relying only on online, or online, on your videos anyways, or these platforms, or in your EFT sessions.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
think
what I
that's
do.
important, and that's an important message, is to find what works for you,
Hmm.
because just because somebody can see, 10 clients a day, or,
Mm-hmm.
and post every single day. I mean, I post videos every single day, but I'm
Yeah,
not
no, it's
saying I'm
like,
not working with people one-on-one just yet. And so you really have to tailor it to your needs, how much time you have, what other things you have going on in your life. Some people have kids, they have families, and they have
mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
balance that as well. So it can be difficult, and you can get burned out very easily. So you really have to look at the overall picture, the overall schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find, like you said, it's not fun anymore. You don't love it anymore. It's becoming more of that, like you're dreading it because you're so
Yeah.
tired, then you need to take a step back, look
And
at what
this,
you're doing.
exactly, this has happened
Yeah.
to me when I started working with children with autism. In the beginning, I didn't have many children, but then after a while, something changed, and I started having 2, sometimes 3 sessions per day.
Hmm.
Oh my God, I hated it. And
Yeah.
I couldn't give the love and everything I wanted to give to, to the children, because it was a burnout, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not about, sometimes it's not about, okay, I'm going to have a session, that's it. There is some work before that and some work after that session,
Hmm.
and you need to relax and you need to take a breath. So it's not like that easy. But yeah, I think it's important to see, because sometimes we get into compare ourselves with other people, and I don't think it's a good idea.
Hmm.
Some people can
Never a
have,
good
like
idea.
exactly
Yeah.
what you said, 3 or 4 sessions, absolutely fine. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't work for me.
Exactly.
So I need to find the right recipe, the formula that works for me. How many hours can
Hmm.
work, I can have sessions. And and the other thing is that I don't want to rely on one source of income. you know I cannot really, I want to have different ones.
Yeah. A lot of stuff
So
running all in the background.
yes,
Yeah. No,
yes.
it's important, especially these days, because you never know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
One thing could drop off, or something could, blow up in front of your face. Something could totally shift. And if you're only relying on that one source, then what do? You have
Let's
to,
say your
yeah,
your Facebook account or your YouTube account is
it's hacked
hacked,
or
all
something.
right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you lose everything. So
Hmm.
yeah, just some precautions. um
Absolutely.
Another fear that I have about our work is that, now that we're touching that, financial fears, is that will I be able to have the stability and certainty that I had when I had like the 9 to 5
Hmm.
job. And then the next fear that comes up is that, am I able as a personality? Because sometimes when I get, I'll tell you what is happening with me. Sometimes when I have to do something new and I'm not feeling comfortable about it, either I'm gonna avoid it for some time and I will procrastinate,
Hmm.
or I'm gonna freeze and do
Hmm.
nothing.
Yeah.
And when you are the owner, you are doing your work, you cannot really, sometimes you don't have this luxury to do nothing.
Yeah.
You have to do
Oh,
something. And I hate that.
absolutely.
And this is a
Yeah.
fear. And I want to be consistent, but sometimes other things are getting into the way. Because when you are working for someone else, you are going to go to your office or wherever you work. You start and at 9, you finish at 5, you have a really nice schedule. But when you're on your own, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. You could easily, you're waking up, you're not feeling so great, you're kind of like tired,
Hmm.
and you're like, I really don't want to. But you have to just push yourself to do something. I mean, maybe you won't get a million things done that day
Hmm.
because you're not high energy state, but you have to still, do something to keep consistent, like you said, to keep the business running.
Mm.
Because if you're not consistent, then you can easily go into the next day and the next day and the next day and fall into this pattern where suddenly you're kind of pulling yourself away from the momentum that you once had
Hmm.
with it. So,
So
yeah,
what do you do
that's
when you have days like that? What do you do?
Well, I mean, usually if you're feeling like that, it's a sign that you probably do need some more self-care, or
Hmm.
you need that you haven't been taking care of yourself. Maybe you've been running yourself like crazy. So, I mean, I have a to-do list every day. So maybe it's about taking a look at all the things you have to do and really prioritizing, okay, what absolutely has to be done today? What is something, you know, maybe I promised to myself that I have to do a video, or that I want to stay consistent with, and what are the things that really don't need to be done, where I don't need to push myself, where I can, you know, allow a little more time to go out in nature or take a walk, or do something for myself. I think that's really important, is to days like that, to budget in a portion of the day or a little bit of the day and do something for yourself. Do some sort of self-care, you know, because if you don't, and, you know, you could force your way through it, you could plow through it. We all can. But how far is that going to take you before you're completely burnt out? I mean, you have to listen to your body sometimes too. So you have to, again, it's about finding that balance. It's about looking, okay, what is my absolute priorities for today, and how can I fit in self-care for myself?
What I find really hard is that, you know, after I had my Kundalini awakening, or, you know, I mean, the spiritual awakening process anyway, I started, sometimes I'm feeling very tired. I have this spiritual fatigue, and I feel like I cannot do anything, you know. And sometimes there are days of intense healing that, in those days, what I do, I just try to read books and, you know, go out and try not to work, because it's not gonna work anyway. I'm just sitting down and pushing myself to do something that I don't want to do. And I hate pushing myself in that way, because in the past it didn't work. So it doesn't work for me to push myself. And I think this has to do with consistency, because when I'm talking about intense healing can take days, can take a week, when you're feeling really down or feeling really tired and you don't want to do anything. You know, try to create a video when you are just releasing loads and loads of, you know, stuff. It's not easy. So, and I feel like, especially the last 1 month, I have like a huge gap between my videos, and that was because of this healing, you know, process. Or sometimes, if I have like intense session with someone, very emotional and all that, you cannot really be okay and go out and do other stuff. You just need to, you know, to ground, to release, because especially with EFT, just because I tap along with my client, if we touch something that actually is my issue as well, I'm gonna have and the benefits and all the symptoms of the release, which means I'm gonna be feeling extremely tired, and the only thing I want to do is just lie down and do nothing the whole day. So that this is one of the things that I find really hard with this work, you know. So
I mean, if you're, like you said, you're resisting, you're forcing yourself to do something. So first I would say, you know, take a look at, okay, what is something I can do that's not so energy draining? And if you still feel like you can't shoot a video, you can't do any writing, you can't do anything, then I agree with you that you need to kind of take a step back and look at, okay, maybe I do need to do some more inner work or something. Because I look at this way, you know, if you don't have a good foundation, then the rest, you know, what comes out of that is not going to be strong, you know. So if the foundation is cracking underneath, then, and if you're slowly, I don't know, just kind of sucking the energy out every day without doing any kind of inner work or anything like that, and not kind of building yourself back up first, then it's going to be hard to carry on. And I feel like, you will kind of, if you're just trying to force things every single day, that you are going to at some point become completely exhausted or completely drained, or adrenal fatigue or something like that. So I agree with you there. If it's if you find that you can't do anything, then
do nothing.
maybe it's not your day, and you need to just take the time to heal first, you know?
I think that we need to remember that, because sometimes I think that I'm pushing myself when I'm you know, feeling worried about finances, this is when I'm pushing myself. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to do that. I have to do that.
Same
No,
here.
I don't. It
Yeah.
doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
And pushing myself doesn't make things better, to be honest. There's like
Absolutely.
a part of me that is that says, no, I'm not going to do it. No matter how
Yeah.
much you want me to do. Nope.
Yeah. It's because you're coming at it from desperation mode, right? You're coming at it from a
Exactly.
point of lacking and desperation. And that's never a good energetic place to be. We always want to
Exactly.
be in a better state. So if you're doing, not only is your content or what you're putting out is going to be crap, it's going to be less quality because you're coming at it from this place of just desperation, just force, rather than letting it flow through you. So when you're feeling good, when you're feeling full, when you're feeling whole, when you're feeling happy, right? You have like your vibration is up. The content is better. What
Yeah,
you're giving out to other people is better, and that's going to resonate better with other people, because everything is energy. So what kind of energy are you putting out from desperation mode?
absolutely
Yeah.
agree. And the other thing that I feel the pressure with is that, with these algorithms that you need to post very often,
Mm-hmm.
because, and I'm like, no,
You're like,
no,
ah,
I
crap.
won't be forced,
Right,
because
right.
of this algorithm. No,
Yep.
I'm going to do it whenever I want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
So
It's
that's
like,
that's definitely a challenge with social
yeah,
media. Yep.
these are, typical fears. But I think many of us have when we are doing this online business, and it's not like we have a map, it's a good thing that some people are a little ahead of us. So they're giving us the hands up about
Mm-hmm.
what is ahead. But again, you don't know how things are going to be in the future. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so much uncertainty, you just, if you're like me, you're just, trust my intuition only. I'm not using my logic that much anymore. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if
yeah.
I have that.
It's important because if you're going at it from just the place of logic, then you are going to be more in that lack mindset because you're like, okay, it's been 6 months. I should have this many followers by now, or should have
Hmm.
this many subscribers. And it goes back to that comparing yourself to other people, right? Who maybe hit it big after 3 months or something like that.
Hmm.
So you can't think that way. You just have to remain consistent. You have to go with your intuition. You have to do what is resonating with you. And
Hmm.
also go back to your why. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this just for the money? Or are you doing this because you actually love doing it?
Exactly.
It goes back to remembering, okay, what from my past, that 9 to 5 job that I
Hmm.
had. What
Hmm.
about it was I trying? Why did I want to shift? Why did
Hmm.
I shift to you know what I mean? We have to remind ourselves because we forget so often. We
Yeah,
forget and we fall back into those old thinking patterns. And then we come at it from the mode of just our logical brain. But you can't think like that. You have to, yeah, it's more using that creative brain.
yeah,
Getting
absolutely,
rid of the
absolutely.
logic, like you said, sometimes. Sometimes you
Yeah,
just have to and go with your gut.
yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I think that just because I was pushing myself a lot about that, I was like, I don't care anymore. So I'm in the I don't care mentality right now. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm going to do it whenever I want to do it. And
Hmm.
if I'm meant to do that, which I feel like I was meant to do that, it's going to be fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we need to understand that this is our unique journey. You cannot really compare your journey to someone else's.
Right.
They have their lessons, you have your lessons.
Hmm.
And you can do things your own time, your rhythm, your pace. You don't need to put yourself to move faster.
Hmm.
And I love that. I love that. I don't want to compare myself to anyone else. This
Yeah.
is it is what it is. Actually, it's just
Yeah.
me. You know.
Yeah. And I
Um,
think oftentimes we make it so much about us, but it's also shifting our perspective a little bit. And okay, what I'm doing for other people, like what is the value
it's
I'm giving to other people? We have to remind ourselves that,
Mhm.
okay, maybe I don't have 100,000 subscribers right now, but there might be one or two people that I
Exactly.
completely influence and I completely change their life. I was talking to this about Roy yesterday. I mean, you know,
Hmm.
the videos that he does of personal development. I'm like, you could shift somebody, you could change them from being suicidal,
Yeah,
from
exactly.
one or two of your videos just because they resonated with something that you said, and it prevents them from doing harm to themselves or something like that. I mean, that is huge. That is like the extreme of
Exactly.
the impact that this can have on somebody and reaching somebody that who you've never met or you don't even know.
Hmm.
And that's why I do it. I mean, it's like, you know, sometimes I get in my head and it's like, oh, you know, I'm not growing fast enough or something like that. But it's like, okay, I need to remind myself that what
It's
I'm
not
putting
about
out there is
quantity.
going out to somebody. Somebody is seeing this and it could have an
Exactly.
impact on them. It could be influencing somebody. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I mean, maybe it won't, but maybe it will.
Then, do you know how many times in the past I have watched a video from someone who had only a few subscribers, okay,
Hmm.
and that made my day. You know, I felt
Yeah,
better. You know,
absolutely.
something
Yeah,
changed inside me.
you can shift somebody.
So,
Hmm.
exactly, the messages can come from everywhere. I mean, you don't need to have many people following you. It doesn't matter. We just need to help one person apart from ourselves. If we
Yeah.
just, if
Hmm.
we're able to help one person, then would be, this is what we need to do, nothing else.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's more than
Yeah.
enough. It's more than
Yeah.
enough.
Absolutely.
So the moment I realized that, I was like, okay, I don't care anymore. The I don't care
Hmm.
mentality I was telling you about.
Hmm.
And sometimes I think what I've noticed, this is very strange. Sometimes I feel like I have this intuition that I need to go to a specific place. You know, I don't
Hmm.
know. I just, and there are so many synchronicities, and then I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna meet someone who is in the beginning of their spiritual awakening, and I'm gonna tell them something, and they're gonna feel better, or they're gonna take decisions about starting, a different path. And I'm like, maybe this is my job, just to go to
Yeah.
move to places and speak to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And you cannot. I'm mentioning that just because it has happened many, many times the last 3 years, right? Has happened more than 10 times. That need to go somewhere to a very specific place.
Hmm.
Once I was on a boat, right, and that lovely lady approached me, and she was like, "I don't know why I felt the need to come and talk to you." I was like, "All right," and then we started, talking, and
Yeah.
or ended up talking about energy, and actually she was looking for someone to actually confirm how she was feeling about energy, about spiritual
Hmm.
awakening, and I was that person. And that was more than enough. It
It's like
was
the
like, it was
universe just
amazing. It
brought
was
you together.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone's journey or mission or whatever you want to call it is different.
Hmm.
That's why I don't feel, we don't need to compare ourselves. And I think that we are supported in what we're doing.
Hmm.
And we're helping people with different ways if this is
Yeah.
what we want to do.
And everything from our past and everything we've been through is just a stepping stone to get us to where
Exactly.
we are now. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, well, 5 years ago, I never thought that I would be here or I'd be doing like an
Hmm.
IG live or so there's so many things that kind of lead us to the path we're on. And I
Exactly.
think, you know, it all has purpose. There's all meaning behind it. Often we don't think there's meaning behind it, or we think that, I don't know, we're like, why is this happening to me? Or we look at it in a negative light.
Hmm.
But if you look at it now, something that happened in your past, it's like, well, if that didn't happen, then how would my life be different now? You know, so
Exactly.
it's
And you are an example to other people. Maybe many
mhm,
people don't understand what you're doing now, but they see you. They know what you're
mhm,
doing. So whenever feel the need to change something in their lives, they're gonna come to you because you are doing it now,
yeah,
doing what
yeah,
you love, and you feel absolutely fine about it. I guess so.
mhm,
You feel good about it, right?
yeah, yeah,
Doing videos,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, yeah, it is hard. It is hard. This journey comes with many fears and doubts, and but actually, it's worth it more than anything, I think.
Mhm, yeah,
And it comes from within. And this is what I've been saying to many people. You nobody can do your work better than you because this is your journey, you know. This is your work. This is about you, the unique you, you know. So what's the point of comparing yourself to other people? Nobody.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you put two people copying each other, that's why you cannot really copy anyone. No, it's silly.
Yeah.
Just follow
Yeah.
your path.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah. It's a journey, and
This.
the journey is the destination. That's what I like to say.
Yes,
So there's
exactly.
really no end point because we're always growing and we're always learning new things along the way.
Yeah. Many
And yeah,
people, you know, are having therapy. They're asking me, how long is it going to take? Okay.
right.
You mean months? Well, I think it's going to take forever. This is my answer. This is a process. This is a lifelong process. It doesn't
Yeah.
end tomorrow or in 2 days or in 6 months or 2 years, you know. And if you stop that process, you know, you're gonna burn out really soon, you know,
Yeah.
because you won't be following your intuition. So when I'm talking about process, I'm not talking about healing. It's about keep the connection with the divine, with your higher self, you know. And because this is what I think we've done now. We have managed to connect with our higher selves, and actually following that intuition and create something that comes through us. And this is something I keep saying, this is not me, this is coming through me. I'm just allowing it to come through me.
Yeah.
So
Channeling the energy. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm feeling very humble about this work. And sometimes in therapy I would say something that will, you know, help someone a lot, and but I know I just allow it to come, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's important. I keep mentioning that because I think it's not about ego, you know. You need to let go of your ego in order to do this work. Otherwise, it just, you know, go rounds around you. It's not. It's not. You're not gonna feel the unconditional love and the connection if it is, you know, if
Right.
it is your ego who is talking.
Right. It's coming from your heart,
Yeah.
not this up here.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Guys, let us know. Sorry, I interrupted you. Jen, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, no, it's
You
fine.
want to say anything? Anything, any fears you may have about your work, something you find it hard to do, and tell us.
Yeah. Questions, comments.
Questions, yes. Tell us we are
I'm sure there's
beautiful
a
and
lot of,
very
I'm sure there's a lot
clever
of, I'm
and
sure there's a lot of fears in everybody.
mm,
Although we've covered quite a few of them. I don't think there's anything else.
yeah. No one?
The other thing is like finding people to network online too. But that could go back to if somebody has like social anxiety, you know, reaching out to other people in the online community can sometimes be difficult as well. So that can be a challenge to kind of open yourself up to connecting with other people if you're not used to that.
Yeah. I had that difficulty, to be honest, until I found the group,
Same here.
the Victor
Yeah.
Rodos group. I mean, I couldn't find anyone who's doing the same work as me. You know,
Mm.
I didn't have anyone to talk to about what I'm doing, what are my fears, how to move forward. But after I joined the group, so many people, you know, I met so many people, and now I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah.
And I think that if anyone has similar fears, it's very important, first of all, to understand what they want to do, and then trying to meet other people who are in the same path. You're gonna be helped a lot.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, building a support system is huge,
Hmm.
especially in this line of work because you are, like I said, prone to attack or prone to, you know, fears inside either about money or about fear of failing, things like that. So it's nice to connect with other people going through the exact same thing as you
Hmm.
and support each other
Yeah,
and kind of
absolutely.
build along with each other.
Well, this is what I love to do. I love promoting other people's work because I feel quite emotional about the fact that
Mm.
they are putting themselves out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I love your videos, by the way,
Oh,
guys.
thank you.
Please
Likewise.
watch
Likewise.
Jen's videos. They're amazing. So much value there, and you know, amazing points you are raising every time. And this is something I feel like it's not about me. It's not about my work. It's about our work. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have. Or Roy says, how do you overcome your fears when they arise before creating a video? It's a good question. Overcome your fears. So the word here is overcome your fears. Sometimes you don't need to overcome your fears in order to create a video. You can do the video even though you feel, you know, you have the fear. But it's a great opportunity to work on that. I mean, just take all these things, all these fears or triggers as an opportunity to work on yourself and release it instead of avoid it or, you know, anything else.
Yeah, I used to fear messing up on camera. Yeah, I mean, if you mess up, you mess up. What's the worst? You know, that's the worst that can happen, right? You
Well,
stumble upon your words, or yeah, I mean, if it's a YouTube video, you can edit it, obviously, but yeah, I
this is
mean,
something I always ask to myself. I was like, okay, you don't want to do it. What's the worst case scenario? What
yeah.
is the worst that can happen, you know?
Hmm.
So, I
And
mean,
oftentimes it's not as bad as you think. Yeah.
well, most of the times, if you come with a solution, just to, you know, to feel better and more calm
Hmm.
in the case that something goes wrong. Okay, let's say that you're doing a video and you make a mistake or you're losing, I don't know, I mean, what I don't think that it's, to be honest with you, when I'm doing my work, because everything is like calculated risks, you know, I don't feel
Hmm.
like scared that much. But when I'm doing work for someone else, I'm feeling more stressed, you know. Let's
Yeah.
say I'm doing a project for someone else, I'm feeling more stressed. Everything can go wrong and it's not under my control. But when I'm doing my work, my videos, everything, I mean, I know how to correct them because I'm creating them. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. When you're doing it for somebody else or you're speaking for somebody else, it's a lot more stressful, in my opinion.
There are different
So,
expectations, you know.
yeah. And it's also about reminding yourself of your why and going back to just your message or what's you know, because when you're fearing, when you're scared to press that play button or whatever it is, then that's, you know, that's you being in your head. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's just press play and just start talking and it comes out of you. The other thing is to just remind yourself of why you're doing it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that'll help
exactly.
kind of pull you out of your
Mm-hmm.
brain a little bit, your ego a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But I think, yeah, doing your own work,
Hmm.
I don't, I don't know. I don't think it's that stressful. It becomes stressful when I'm putting like unreasonable expectations, you know, like, okay, next month I'm going to have 1 million subscribers. Not going to
Hmm.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
when you realize you're doing the work for you and not somebody else, that's
yeah.
it's a completely different feeling in the body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
your gut talking, your inner GPS
Yes. Yes.
pushing you in the right direction. So,
Yes, exactly.
all right.
Right. Anything else, guys? Any
Anything else before we
questions?
go? Questions?
Roy has left us.
Yeah.
He's busy. Anyone else, guys? Any questions? Anyone? No one?
Bueller.
All right.
We
Okay.
satisfied everybody's needs today, so
Yeah,
that's
we
a good thing.
analyzed it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
We did go over a lot though, so I think we covered all the main fears,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, I
think.
believe them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys. Roy loved it. Oh, thank you, Roy. And
Thank you,
Eleanor, thank
Eleanor.
you. Roy and Eleanor. Eleanor and Roy. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate that. I hope we help you. We'll help you. Yeah. We answer your questions. And what else? Anything else you want to share?
That's
Then
it.
no,
If you guys, yeah, if
nothing.
you guys have any more questions, you know where to reach us. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, other than that,
All right.
I
Thank
think
you
we're
so
good.
much again. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay. Have a
Vivi.
lovely
Thank you
evening.
all.
Okay.
You too.
Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.